Hello, my name is Morgan. I'm a professional dog trainer, and today I'm going to teach you how to train a crackhead, aka my foster dog named Crash. If you missed my last video, I got Crash from the shelter, who has been returned not one, not two, but 3 times he has been returned. And I've lived with him for a week, and I gotta say, I kind of get it. If you're an inexperienced dog owner and you're just not ready for this level of crazy, I could see why he's just not a great pet dog yet. So today's video, we're gonna cover a little bit of leash training, because the leash you see is my best friend. The leash is gonna teach him boundaries, which he desperately needs, because he jumps all over me, he jumps all over dogs, he jumps all over my cat, he jumps all over the furniture. Dude has just never been told to stop in his life. He's just go, 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 go. So I wanna help teach him a little bit of stop and to think. He doesn't think, he just does. In fact, he's around all of my camera equipment right now. Crash, sir. And if you don't know why I named him Crash, it's because, well, he crashes into things. So let's all pray for my camera equipment and make sure that he doesn't destroy anything. Today, I'm actually gonna be teaching him his name. His name was Esmond. Excuse me, sir. He's not an Esmond. I don't know who did that, but it was a big mistake. His name is now Crash, so I'm gonna teach him his name, all while teaching him how to respond to leash pressure. All he knows right now is when a leash goes on, he pulls, people follow. Not up in here. Not up in here, sir. No, instead we're gonna teach him when he feels pressure on a leash to instead come to me, look at me, be in my bubble. So we're teaching him his name and teaching him how to respond to leash pressure, all one and the same. I like to start all the dogs off on a slip leash, super skinny, lightweight. It's even something that you can put it on and let them drag around the house, which I've been doing, because if I don't, he's a madman inside the house. So get you a little slip leash like this to get started with your dog. Make sure you have this handy dandy little tab right here. Without that tab, this slip collar just slips down their neck, and then it kind of defeats the purpose. Ideally, I want the collar to fit up high, so that way it's not putting impact on his trachea. That's the goal anyways. Sometimes it does slide down, not the end of the world, but ideally, again, up nice and high on his neck. Oh, I'm so excited to train you, sir. It has been a rough week. Not that bad, I'm being dramatic. A little bit. Look, you're gonna be Mr. Proper Pants, Mr. I'm the best boy in the world now. He's very treat motivated, which is gonna make my life much easier. Slip leash on, right behind the ears, right under the chin, lock it into place with my little tab there. All right, now all I'm gonna do is just walk around, and anytime he hits the end of the leash, I'm gonna apply leash pressure, I'm gonna say his name, and then reinforce it with a snacky. Crash. I'm not gonna say a whole bunch. I wanna minimize the amount of words that are coming out of my mouth. Granted, I'm talking to you, so there's a lot more words than normal, but as I train dogs, I try to simplify it to just the command that I'm working on to help it stand out to him. Crash. And I just go back to ignoring him walking around. Crash. Also, walking backwards helps to reel him back into my bubble. So rather than just standing still and stagnant, a lot of dogs will turn around and look at you and be like, what? I'm showing him what to do with my body as well. Crash. Good. So teaching him his name and teaching him how to respond to leash pressure. My positive marker, I like to use good. Some people like to use yes. Use banana. I don't care what you say. Crash. Good. To me, good just makes sense. And honestly, every time I go, yes, I just kind of annoy myself. So I stopped using yes. Crash. Good. Crash. Now, I know I'm doing this game inside the house. Pretty boring. I really am the most interesting thing in the room right now. I'm gonna use that to my benefit. So rather than starting with these exercises outside, where there's cats and squirrels and bikes and trucks and sniffs and smells, I'm gonna start in the house so I can build on success. Crash. Oh, my cat serving as a good distraction right now. Good boy, bee. It's all about reps, people. Crash. Good. Do it over and over and over and over again. You can't build the muscle without doing reps in the exercise. Dog training is the exact same thing. Your dog can't learn without doing reps in these exercises. Buckle up, it's boring. Crash. I don't know why you would buckle up if it's boring, but you know, safety first. Say the name, apply the leash pressure, walk backwards, and pair it with a treat. Really, the leash is just so crucial because this is the first step to loose leash walking. Crash, crash. Oh, okay, so let's graduate. Now, instead of using leash pressure, let's see if I've done enough reps that now he'll respond to my cue, which is his name. So first it was cue, leash pressure. Now we're gonna ditch the leash pressure, go from cue to then reward. So if I say his name, but he goes, no thanks, I don't care what you're saying, then I'm gonna default to my leash. That's why the leash is so important. The leash is like your guiding factor here. That's what's gonna tell him what to do and show him what we're asking. But if you do enough reps, you can ditch the leash because now he's picked up on the pattern and is responding to the cue, AKA being your name means pay attention. Crash. Good boy. Crash. And eventually you'll also fade to name just being eye contact. Right now, that's a bit too advanced. We're just saying, look in my general direction, but we can graduate to a level where then his name means actual eye contact. Crash. Good. Crash. Now, as soon as I go outside, it's all gonna go out the window. It's all gone. As soon as we go outside, we're gonna go back to name with leash pressure. The leash pressure is what's gonna guide him to what we're trying to teach him. So, do it inside. Get a good reps in, and then take it outside. Now let's try and ditch the leash. Ignore, ignore. Crash. Good boy, good Mia. Crash. Good. Let's take this game outside, shall we? Let's go, dude. And now we're outside. We're gonna play the exact same game, but what you're gonna notice is he's not gonna want quite as much to do with me because we have all these fun things going on around here. So I'm just gonna roam around, wait for him to be distracted, and then say his name. Exactly what we've been doing. Crash. Walking backwards. See how interesting it makes me? Crash. Good. Crash. Good. Crash. Good. Now that I'm outside, I am adding a little bit more pressure to my leash. So I'm doing more of a pop than I was inside because, again, there's a lot of things pulling his attention. So, crash. A little bit more firm with my leash pressure. That's very good. I'm gonna put the treat pouch behind me because this boy is obsessed with this. I'm also gonna wait to reach for my treats until after he's completed the behavior. That's gonna help because a lot of people live with their hand in the treat pouch. The dog gets used to that visual and they're coming back because they know a treat is coming. So instead, I wanna get him used to this visual, no pouch in the front, because that's real life. You're not always gonna have treats on you. Crash. Good. Like so, like that. Crash. Good. We're wearing you out today. Even though this exercise seems so boring, I promise it's just as exhausting as taking your dog for a walk. That's a total free-for-all. This is a lot more challenging because we're adding mental stimulation. We're making him think. He's not used to having to think. Crash. Good. So there he started to pull at the end of the leash. I stopped walking with him. My number one rule for leash walking is if my dog pulls, I do not follow. Instead, I go the opposite way. We're not going anywhere you want to go unless you're in my bubble. Crash. Good. Crash. That's a great example of he went, no thank you, I'm busy, I'm sniffing. So I defaulted back to my leash. So at this point, I'm saying his name, but giving him, why has it got to be windy today? Why is that? So at this point in training, I'm saying his name and giving him the opportunity to show me if he'll do it right, to show me if he'll pay attention. If not, I default back to my leash pressure. Crash. Good, because my leash is the thing that makes him do it. It's the thing that makes it not optional. Crash. Good, and ultimately guides him to what I want him to be doing, which is be in my bubble. You'll notice the less help I do by walking backwards, by getting exciting, the more bored he seems to get and the less enthused he is to come back to me. So if your dog starts to get pretty dull in this exercise, pick up the momentum, pick up the tempo and get more fun with it to keep him entertained. Crash. Good boy, that's better. Oh yeah. My end goal here is that I'm walking, crash, and he's no longer hitting the end of the leash, which takes time and practice. You can do this in the house. You can do this in the front yard, you can do this in your backyard. Don't do this on your regular walk for your very first session. I'm gonna keep it in a familiar place just so I can get in a lot of reps. But if you keep upping your distraction level in your environment, it's gonna be a lot more difficult and you're not gonna be building on success. You're just making it harder and harder and harder, and then you're gonna get frustrated and your dog's gonna get bored. So we're just keeping it simple for this first training session. Crash. So I kept applying that leash pressure until he gives me the behavior that we're looking for. Crash. Good. That one was a lot better because previously I used my leash and said you have to. So he learned, okay, I've got to respond to it. Crash. Good. Look at us. Look at us loose leash walking. Look at this. Look at this. Previously, we put a leash on him and we were getting dragged all over the place. So the fact that he's just remaining in my bubble a lot better is a huge win for the first day of training. Look at this. Crash. Good boy. Great note to end it on. He was gaining speed, looking like he was going to hit the end of the leash. I said his name and he turned around before he felt the leash pressure. Crash, that was a very good session. You tired now? Oh, yeah. You probably want to keep your training sessions between like 15, 20 minutes, really depending on your dog. If you've got like a puppy under 16 weeks, I'd probably keep it 5 to 10 minutes. If you've got an older dog with a lot of energy, you could even push it 30 to 45. Excuse me, sir? No. This is how you know we need to end a training session, because now he's getting sassy. Now he needs a little bit of time to decompress and run around and relax, because this was all very structured and controlled. And again, I didn't go for a 3-mile walk. We've been training in the house and just in this little spot outside. And already I can see mentally that he's starting to break down and get a little sleepy on us. So he needs a little time to decompress, run around the yard, and then go for a nap. And then this afternoon, we'll do it all again. That's how you know he's real pooped. He is thirsty. Thank you guys so much for watching my first video with Mr. Crash. A lot of fun videos coming your way. My plan is to do an entire series on how to train your dog. So the next couple of ones will be probably on jumping on the furniture, overall manners and mouthing. So make sure you're subscribed so that way you guys can train along with me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy training.